Hello and welcome back. This is MC1 Gamer bringing you a bit of a channel update, some hobby update information, and also some information on giveaways that are coming up with the channel. So a lot of things that I'm looking to do. Before I even get into that, I just want to say thank you to all of the new subscribers and of course all for coming on board and following me. Thank you for tuning in. To all the subscribers I've had practically since the beginning, thank you guys for sticking with me, and most especially to some of the new donors, the Patreon donors that I've gotten. I put out a video a couple months back just saying, I'm looking to improve the channel. There's some things I'd like to update. There's some certain quality improvements I'd like to have, certain additions to content that I have planned, and if anybody wanted to contribute in any small way, I'm certainly open to it and willing to do it, and I'll certainly be looking to give some of that back in various ways. I've gotten a couple of different types of sponsorships and donations and material stuff that I'm looking to send back, not just to donors but also at particular subscriber milestones. I'm looking to do that at 1,750 subscribers. I'm just at the cusp of 1,500, so it's a little bit. I probably should have prepared a little bit earlier for that. I'm probably about 30 or 40 away from the 1,500, which is it's modest. But it's great. I'm really I'm very happy to see that there's still some interest in me doing this, and you guys subscribing and responding is one of the best ways to show that you like the content, you want to see it keep happening. As far as the donors are concerned, just know that if you're not a donor, there's no second tier or second layer of content that's going to be specific to the donors. As a donor, little as $1. You don't have to go crazy. Trust me. I'm not looking. Well, it would be wonderful to make a living doing this, but it's not something that I realistically expect or I'm planning and plotting for. It would be great if that could happen, but that's a long way ahead. I'm just looking to try and improve the channel, provide you with good content, and in doing so, again, try to give some back. I've got some people that have been donating things like tokens and some of the books from the new Age of Sigmar, and just so you know, there's a lot of new things coming that are not just Age of Sigmar. I know I've had a lot of Age of Sigmar stuff recently, and I'm going to get into that, but I'm looking to improve. I want to have more variety in terms of battle mats. I've really bolstered up the amount of other types of terrain I have. For instance, things like forests and trees, better quality stuff there. I've got hills that I'm building, as well as other types of terrain that I'm building and looking to acquire. So other things that I'm looking to do is improve the webcam. I want to get a little bit better webcam so that when I have conversations or any kind of other dialogues or hangouts, that there's just a little bit better quality on my end. I want to try and get a digital camera, not a still, but for time-lapse photography. So I could potentially do that for battle reports. Now, I'd like to get your feedback. So if you're interested in either or, if you like the format that I currently do, which is more of a slideshow type format, which is what's most popular, I believe, but I also see that there's some people that do time-lapse stuff where they put up a tripod, film the entire event, and it's a quicker. It's only maybe a still every a couple of snapshots every minute or so, but you get a little more feel for how the game goes. And I'll do voiceovers for that. Just let me know what you think. One of the things I think that's a drawback for that is the fact that you don't really always have a great vantage point or even a close-up with that. So I'm a little concerned about that, but that might be something I might aim for, but I'd really like to do it if there's interest in the sub base. So if you're interested in responding to that, feel free to put comments down below. Also, I've got more products that I'm looking to give away. I'll go into that in just a second. Actually, no, I'll go into it now. So some of the things are going to start out a little modest, guys, but I'm looking to scale this up. Again, I'm looking to start it with subs at the 1,750 mark and the 2,000 mark. And then I've only got a handful of donors, but once I get, and I don't care how much people donate. I mean, if you want to donate more than $1, that's more than fine. But I'm looking for numbers of donors. So if I get to the 10 donor mark and the 20 donor mark, I'll be giving away specific giveaways to the donor base. But it would depend on. I'm going to look at combinations of subs and donors in terms of numbers. And then I'm going to start averaging it out and doing it in random draws. With obviously, if you're a donor, you're going to get far more entries into that, and I'll go into that a little bit more detail. But I wanted to explain to you some of the things that I have that I'm putting aside specifically for giveaways. So again, start small. If you remember back when Age of Sigmar first came out, they had the White Dwarf with the Stormcast Eternal bonus guy. So I've got that. So if you're interested in Stormcast Eternals, this is something that will be probably a specific donor, a subscriber milestone, probably at the 1,750 mark. This among a few other things. I have, now I know not everybody that views my channel is Age of Sigmar. I've done a lot of bolt action stuff, and I'm going to continue to do that, and there's some big announcements for that. So I have a Hail Caesar from, what is this from, I believe it's from Warlord Games. So I'm going to be giving away this hardcover, which is the rules for Hail Caesar. This is a very cool game. So this is going to be at a donor level. Let's see, I've got a couple of things for anybody who's Age of Sigmar fans, and if you're not, I don't, if you don't have to be to view my channel, but if you don't like Age of Sigmar, I just want to say it because I still got some of you guys trolling here once in a while. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. Just don't be nasty. Right? Okay, so I've got the first hardcover scenario and fluff book. There's some great pictures in here. There's a lot of great scenarios and stuff that really help expand the game and make it much more interesting. So I've got this. This is absolutely in fantastic shape. I mean, I cracked this open just maybe about half a dozen times, read through it and used it in battle reports, and you can see that it's just crisp and in fantastic. I keep everything in as great a shape as I can, so I'm a little anal like that. I like everything to be as and then of course I drop it on the floor. That being said, so I also have, again, at another milestone, this is going to be a donor milestone, but it could be at a 2K mark, which is the Quest for Gal Maraz. So I'm looking to give that away as well. So this is, and I'm also looking to give away, and it depends on the next set of tokens that I get in, but I'm looking to potentially give away a set of Litko tokens that I got as a donation from Litko, and they're really good for Age of Sigmar. Excellent stuff, and I'm very, I've been using them a lot. He is going to be sending me some other promotional ones that are new updates. So depending on what that looks like, I might give away, excuse me, another set of maybe the first wave of them. I'll be using one set at least for just the channel itself and for battle reports, but any excess that I have, I'm going to use as just as givebacks to subscribers and donors. So how I go about doing this, I haven't really formulated yet. I have milestone specific things that I'm looking to do. Again, there's going to be some some advantage for donors in some respect, but I'm also going to have for subscribers, and it's really going to be people that are interested in some of these products to respond. It's not just going to be a blanket thing for the entire sub base. I mean, it's not a large number of people right now, but I'm not going to do a randomized thing unless somebody is active and interested. So more for that. Now, as far as other improvements for the channel, I'm hoping to get some, not only some input from you as a viewer and as a sub, but I'm also looking maybe to get a little help. I'm looking for any advice or any suggestions, or anybody who might want to help me with a logo and an opening to the channel. A lot of cool channels, I think, have really these cool logos and graphic images. And I'm sure I could find some royalty, free music to utilize, but I'm really looking for something that's just going to be a little, just a short pizzazz at the beginning as an opening, just to make make it look a little interesting. I usually just launch right into stuff because I don't have an opening, and sometimes I put up a screen just to display what it is that the battle report is about, who against who, what game it is. But I like to have something a little bit more, just a few seconds, maybe up to 5 seconds at most, maybe even less. And if somebody has any recommendations or is willing to help me with that, I appreciate that very much. Next things, upcoming content. So I have a whole bunch of things planned. So now, anybody who's been with me a long time knows that I have a long time series that I kind of put aside for a while, but it was the Convert This series. So it's Convert This! And this is my ongoing effort to convert essentially an entire army, Warhammer 8th edition, but now Age of Sigmar. So I've been doing some modifications. I put up a video recently about that. I'm going to be putting up some updates on that as well. But I know some people are looking for, where a lot of that has gone and want to see the next step in that. And I'm probably going to, start from scratch and show you all the things that I've done in this series with this. And this is, if you're not aware, if you're new to the channel or whatnot, this is my vampire counts / undead army, and it's got I'm converting almost every model. I mean, there's anything that I haven't, that I'm just using as filler for volume. I'm probably going to be putting aside selling or trading away, or maybe even using as bits, because I want basically everything to be unique. So look out for that series, and you know, I hope if anybody has any feedback or contributions or thoughts or even advice, I'm more than happy to do. You know, I'm growing in the hobby just like everybody else, so I don't consider myself an authority in any way. I've picked up a lot of little tricks and, you know, and tidbits along the way, but I'm always learning stuff, and I've watched plenty of videos and reached out to probably a lot of you people that are watching for feedback and for ideas on how to do things. And you know, I always seem to be doing it the hardest way possible, so it's nice to get some ideas that make things a little bit easier. So that's some upcoming content. Other things, I've got a whole bunch of Age of Sigmar battle reports that are still in the hopper that I haven't cut yet. Some really good ones, and from some of them are really short because they were demos with some people that were looking to enter the hobby, so they're much smaller games, and then a couple of them are much larger. And I have an ongoing series with Nagash against the Undead against Skaven, so that's going to continue, and hopefully that will look a little bit more interesting. But I'm also going to be starting to get back into bolt action. And before I get into that, let me just say that I also have some new armies that I'm going to be introducing into Age of Sigmar. So I have a Vampire Counts army that has tremendous diversity, a lot of models, and a lot of crossover, some TK stuff as well. And a lot of the capabilities of this army is that I can also use it in some respects as a Bretonnian army. So I'm going to bolster that up a little bit as I build some of the stuff that I still have that's unbuilt, or that's in the process of being converted. So as that, you know, I might actually field a Bretonnian army, which I'll probably supplant a couple of units with some stuff from Empire, just to enhance, you know, or give it a little more flavor. Because of the Free People's keywords. So if you don't know that, go check out some of those unlockings. I have also a Sylvaneth army that is almost completely built. It's just got to get based and primed, and then you know, start working on some painting. That should be not a fast paint, but I should be able to get some good paint on it in order to make it look tabletop ready for battle reports. But obviously that's a long-term project as well. And I've got dwarves. So, and just to give you a sense of what I'm talking about, I've acquired a number of different pieces that are already painted and already look pretty good. So there's the Grudge Thrower. You know, I have some models that I used back from Mordheim, which I'm still going to be doing. I just don't have any Mordheim content coming right away. I'm going to be doing a nice conversion with Bugman, and he's going to have his Rangers. So I have a bunch of painted stuff, but I also have some stuff that I'm building because I'm going to have a huge fleet of helicopters and some Iron Drakes. So there's going to be some interesting stuff. But the thing I'm really most interested in is fielding a bunch of miners. I love miners. I didn't really like them in the previous edition as much. I like them now. I want an army for the dwarves that's going to be very mobile. And I want ambushers, and these guys are digging trenches up into the, you know, underneath the army and coming out in this, you know, just under the earth. It sounds hysterical, and I can't wait to see how it works on the table. Plus, I don't want to have a gun line. I don't want to have an army that's just going to sit back. Obviously going to have shooting, but I don't want to have an army that's just sitting back and doing nothing. I want to have a good portion, maybe at least half the army, that is deployed forward to really get into the action, as opposed to just sit back, wait, and shoot. That's not the kind of army that I'm looking to play. And one of the things I got, which I'm going to use for bolt action as well as Age of Sigmar, is I got a whole bunch of these craters. So I envision when the miners dig themselves up on the other side of the table is just putting a whole unit on one of these and just planting it down there on the other side of the board, obviously no closer than 9 inches from my opponent. So look for these in bolt action once I paint these up, but you'll see these in a battle report when I deploy the my ambushing and lightning striking dwarven army. So we'll see how that turns out. But a lot of that stuff is already pre-painted, which I'm very happy about. And just for those people who want to see some of the updates, excuse me, on like the Werewolf Cryptars, I'm working on these guys. Already started working on the base a little bit. So that's a good example of them. And you may have already seen the video recently where I showed a whole bunch of these Fell Pegasi, which are my Fell bats. And I also use them sometimes as Vargeist. It really depends. So that's a couple of different things. As far as bolt action, I've got a huge campaign that's coming up. This is a kind of an escalation thing for new players as well, because there's like about, I think it's about half a dozen of us that are bolt action players in the local area that play, regularly. And we had a spring run, but now we're going to look to do one that's actually starting up in about a week or two. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be starting at 250 points. It's mostly early war. And we're going to be increasing the points all the way up to 1250. So each month it's going to go up by 250 points, and we're looking to get multiple games in every month. And I will be reporting mostly on my experience, but I'm also going to be talking about how the campaign is progressing, and I may even do some pictures for some other games for some of the other people as I'm able to. And I've added in a number of things into that army. So I'm playing U.S. And I mostly play veterans. I have plenty of regulars as well, but I have rangers and airborne. So I've added a couple of things recently to that. I just picked up recently the half track, so that I can transport some of those troops. I have a 50 cal mounted on a Jeep, which these guys are going to get painted up. I picked up. I have one LMG light machine gun 30 cal. I picked up a second one in a weird configuration, and it doesn't really matter. The bases don't matter in bolt action. Sounds familiar, kind of like Age of Sigmar, huh? So I picked up another one that's going to get painted up. So I've got that. So I'm going to have a bunch of videos for that. So you're going to see a lot of Age of Sigmar and bolt action stuff coming up over the course, starting very much within the next week, but throughout mid to late October is when bolt action will get up into into full swing, and that's still gonna have plenty of Age of Sigmar stuff interspliced between that. And most of that is stuff that I've already cut and that I've already filmed that I'm yet to cut and do audio for. So you'll see that stuff. Some other hobby update stuff. I am looking to build a ton of buildings that I can use not just for Age of Sigmar but mainly for bolt action. So I picked up some of the Warlord Games Ruins, and not only do I have this set, which I think there's like 3 of these sets. There's actually another couple pieces, but there's like 3 of each of these. This is, I consider this one set, one ruined farmhouse or hamlet or whatever, and there's 3 of those. I've cut out a bunch of templates of that so that I can make a bunch of those buildings. So I'm going to make a whole bunch of those. I'm going to be picking up, again, hopefully some foreground buildings as well. I want to have a very, very heavy up terrain set for not just bolt action, but stuff that I can also potentially use for Age of Sigmar. I picked up some of the new Age of Sigmar terrain as well. So there's a bunch of stuff there: the portals, the arch, the dais. I've got all that stuff now. Everything. I'm not picking up any of the Chaos Fortress. Sorry, it's a little too rich for my current situation. So you won't be seeing that anytime soon, unless somebody's looking to donate anything like that. And then, of course, donations are always happily accepted. But I think that we can do without the fortresses for the time being. Some other things. I'm actually looking to, for bolt action, I have the U.S. and I have a pretty extensive U.S. Army set up. I'm looking to add some tanks because I want to do some tank war episodes, but I'm also going to build up a German army. So I'm looking to, I don't know if I'm going to go with the SS. I might go with the Grenadiers and try to get a handful of tanks as well, Panthers or maybe a Tiger and some Panzer IVs, so I can have a tank war game as well as a standard bolt action game. So those are some of the things that are coming up and coming down the road over the course of the next several months. And I'm looking to be building up a whole slew of terrain with new with new gaming mats. I'm hoping to get some of the more table war mats and some other mats that I've seen. I'm looking for some urban stuff. I'm looking for some themed mats. I'd like to have a lava world map, for the plane of fire, I guess, for for Age of Sigmar, I want to get a forest mat or a swamp mat, and then maybe a desert one. I have one that's like fields. It's mostly for bolt action that I've been using, which works out okay. But I want something that's going to be a little bit less organized fields, like it would look in Europe or in Middle America, I guess, where it just looks too earthly. I want something that looks obviously a little bit more in Old World. In 8th edition it fit the mat that I currently have, but I want to try and find something that will be a little bit more appropriate for Age of Sigmar. I don't think there's as many plowed fields in Age of Sigmar, but it looks really good for bolt action. But I want to have some variety of that too. I want to have more of an urban mat setting, and there's some good ones that I saw from Frontline that I want to try. So that's some of the stuff that I'm doing, but also I want to just leave off with some of the buy, sell, trade stuff. I mean, I did a recent video with that, and there's some things I'm still looking for. Obviously, for wants, I'm looking for foreground buildings. That would be great. I'm looking for an Ogre Firebelly for my son's army. That would complete his army. I don't think I'm going to go any further. As a matter of fact, I have some excess stuff that I might actually unload that I bought. I don't think that we need that size of an army. We already have a lot of. There's a whole lot. It's a flesh wall already of ogres and giants and thunder tusks and oh my. Okay, so other things I'm looking for some road terrain. I'm looking to potentially build my own, but I would like to acquire some so I can take that time and put it towards actually painting and building up some of the models collection that I already have. I'm looking for river terrain as well. So any thoughts, ideas, or anybody that wants to do either a trade or has something that for a very good deal, I would be more than willing to have a conversation about. I'm looking to, as I said, I'm looking to get some Germans for bolt action. So if anybody has stuff that is unbuilt, on sprue, in the box, let's have a talk. Let me know. You can send me a private message. You can email me. I can just shoot me over a post. Don't post your actual email address. I don't want spiders to kind of catch you and do the easy thing. Use some spacing and write the word dot out. I know it's probably not even. It probably doesn't help that much, but you never know. Okay, I just don't want anybody getting spammed, and I'm not going to do that either. You can reach me at my email address, my Gmail address. So don't ask me what's after the @ because it's a Gmail address. You should be pretty evident. Is mitch.cowan973. So if you want to reach out to me about any kind of potential trades or anything about my halves or anything that you have as far as wants in terms of the hobby is concerned, let me know. Feel free to reach out to me for that. I'm also looking for a small handful of dryads. I'm looking for the plastic ones, not metal. Okay, I don't care if they're on if they include bases, because I'm not using the metal. I mean the plastic bases, square or round. I'm using my own fenders, washers, metal bases, so they can magnetize to the magnetic trays that I have in the storage method that I use. So I'm just looking for a handful of them, anywhere from 6 to 10 or 12 at most, just for summoning capabilities when I do summon. I have about 32 of them already, so I don't care if I get just a handful more for that summoning, and I'll use the rest. I can use casualties will fill in the rest of those needs, but I wouldn't mind using them. Some halves that are on my list. I have 3 of the Tomb King Carrion, so those are bare metal. I think I might have 2 additional ones that are cleaned up. I don't remember if I use the wings for those, but I know I have 3 that are complete and have all the head, the legs, and there's no paint on them. So if you're interested in those, let me know. I do have some of the Shogun miniatures steel movement trays. Now I have a whole ton of them because I bought a whole ton with the idea in mind that I was going to use for cav, with Bretonian lance formations, every different iteration you can imagine, from 3x2 to 3x4, 3x5. For these huge ranges, as well as all these from horde formation in 8th edition to just a block of 2x5. I've got more than I need, and while I'm not going to give up completely on things like 8th edition or potentially doing Kings of War periodically. I just don't have a need for them, the amount of them that I bought that were compatible with 8th edition. So if anybody's interested in them, I'd be happy to discuss what I have and what you're looking for, and work from there. I've got 2 Mornfang Cav from the Ogre Kingdoms that are bits. Some of the stuff is still on the sprue, but what I did was anything I had left over, I purchased a couple more of the Cav, the body parts, so that I could have 2 extra Cav to maximize what I had left over in the bits. And now I have 2 extra Mornfang Cav that I just don't think I need. I have enough of them for my son's army. I've played the game, played with that army more than a couple of times, and I know that I have more than I think I need for Age of Sigmar. I have a pretty sizable army for my son to use. It is a devastating army. I just don't need the extra Cav. I think 6 or 8 Mornfang is way more than enough. I think you can get away with 4, 2 in each squad to get the Beast Claw Avalanche benefit. You don't need you don't need 8 of them. You don't need 10 of them. So I have 2 extras, and they are complete. You can make them complete. And if you're interested in those, I also have the command bits for if you want to have a standard bearer or the musician. So just let me know. I think I might even have the bits for a champion. I'm not sure. So if you're interested in a couple more Mornfang Cav, let me know on that. I also have leftover from this was a promotion that I got for the Dwarven Forge city. This was the city Kickstarter they had going back a while ago. So I have 2 of the buildings. They're not complete. They kind of mix and match different pieces, but they're really cool. They can be used for wargaming. They can be used for Dungeons and Dragons or any other kind of tabletop role playing. If you're interested in that, I've got a couple of pieces. I can, I'd be happy to send, to work with you with pictures, and you can see what it looks like, and if you're interested. In any case, that's it. There's a lot of content coming up, and I'm very happy to be expanding the channel, and I appreciate your support. And if you have feedback or interests, if there's things you'd like to see, if you have, I'm more than happy to hear constructive and polite criticisms and feedback, certainly to try and help improve the channel. If you have thoughts on things that you'd like me to do, as far as what armies, what kind of scenarios, how you'd like me to do certain battle reports or other type of content, please feel free to post it. I'm more than happy to hear it, and if I hear it enough, I'm gonna respond, and I'm gonna appease you guys. If it's fun to do, I will do it, and if it's something that there's a lot of interest in, I'll be happy to do that as well. On top of that, as probably anybody who's watched up to this point in this video or any of my videos knows, I'm doing a lot of unlocking, so there's plenty of unlockings coming up. I'm going to be doing I'm going to be finishing up the rest of the armies. I have maybe 2 or 3, I think, at most. I think I'd maybe only 2, and then I'm going to start circling back and going to look at the special characters for each of the Age of Sigmar armies and do the analysis on those, and how those they change the use of the armies from just looking at just generic stuff, because Age of Sigmar is very special character friendly. We're not talking everything Nagash, we're just talking a lot of special characters are very useful, and there should really not be an inhibition to using them. Obviously including the social contract of discussing all that kind of stuff with your opponents so that everybody's on the same playing field. I strongly recommend that in any game in any way that has those types of things. But I think Age of Sigmar is almost there's really no barrier other than maybe a couple of characters that are ridiculously powerful that you really should talk about. Everything else really should be open and fair game. In any case, that's it. Thanks for tuning in, and have a great day, everybody.